Okay guys, so back with part 2 of the springing tutorial. Today we're going to be concentrating on lashing our springs with laid cord or twine. This is number 6, I believe. I'll post some more information about where to get this, different types. It's personal preference along with different applications, so yeah, anything that looks like this you'll be good to have a practice with at least. So we're going to start with the left as I look at the chair, so this first row here, okay, and I'm going to show you how to get started off, how to do this first one, and then also just a quick little pattern going across, okay. So first of all we want to measure how much twine we need to cut off the roll to work with here. So the best way that I find to do that, and my way of measuring, is I'll go one pass across, another back, so 2.5, okay, and that'll give you a good length of laid cord to work with, okay. So to get started off, you're going to want some tacks out on the desk if you're not spitting tacks yet, okay, and then we want to put our first tack, or the first 2 tacks, next to each other, as close to the middle of our spring as we can get it in our reel, okay. And it's best to be using improved tacks for this, as opposed to fine. The head will help you a little bit. And then how we get started, we're going to take our cord, fold it back on itself like so, and then again, okay. So we create these 2 little loops like so, okay, and each one of these loops is going to sit underneath the head of our tack. So that's why it's best to use an improved tack, just to give you a little bit more purchase, okay. So you can see the other end is just going to stay loose like so, and we'll deal with that later, okay. So hook our loops around, adjust, okay, and once we've got them nice and secure and tight in there, alright, you can see I'm pulling on that now, I'm going to hit home those 2 tacks, alright, and then on our first knot from the frame, we start on our second rung down. So I've got the top rung of the spring here, I'm going to go second rung down, alright, and the best way that I've found of tying, okay, is I want to pull it, just remember when we set these out we had them all set up straight and nice and neat, and we know that we've got them in the place where we want them, okay. So we spend time tying our springs at the start, messing around. Now we want to work quite quickly, okay. So I don't want to pull too much, so you can see if I'm pulling too much tension through that spring, I'm pulling the spring over the edge, and I don't want that, okay. I want to keep them nice and secure, but in roughly the same place as where we've tied them in, okay. So we're just lashing the top now to replicate the bottom, so we've got a solid base and we'll have a solid top, okay. So we just want to pull it till the spring starts moving, so very gently. As soon as it starts moving, we're going to pinch our cord around the rung or the wire of our spring, okay. So now that's not moving anywhere, and I've got some nice tension going through this first piece, okay. Remember the note, we're starting on the second rung down, not the top rung, okay, and we're going to move from the second. Our next knot is going to be on the top rung on the same spring, okay. I'm going to post some videos to accompany this tutorial about both tying and lashing, so don't worry if this is going too fast. I will go back and go through some of these little details again, okay. So we've got the long end of our twine now, okay, just a really simple granny knot for now, okay, and we're still keeping our twine, our cord pinched around the rung of our spring, okay, whilst we get this knot in place, alright, and then we can cinch our knot up and then let go with this hand, okay. So now we've got a nice knot, we're not pulling this too far down, and we've got some nice tension going through this first piece. I'll just bring that to the camera so you can see. you should be able to see what's going on there. We've also got this loose piece here. Okay, so our next one, exactly the same thing. Get some nice tension. We don't want to change how our spring is looking in terms of how straight it is. Okay, we'll tie our knot. And we've moved on to the top rung of the spring now. Okay, we want a nice straight line of cord running all the way to the back. Now we're going to move on to our next spring. Again, pinch. I'm not pulling the spring over so it touches this spring or it's out of shape and out of line. Okay, just nice tension. Alright, I'm not pulling too much. Just as it starts to move, then I pinch. Okay, take this end, go under and around, however you want to get your knot made. It's just ever so important that you keep it pinched around the wire of your spring and make a tight knot and get good tension in between. Okay, so I'll bring that to the camera again. You can see I've moved on to the next spring now. And then again, over this spring, get good tension, pinch. I like going underneath. You might find a different way of making your knot. Okay, and then same thing. On to the next one now, to the next spring, underneath. Okay, and then to finish, I'm going to move back onto the second rung. Okay, so you can just see there that I'm going to move back down onto my second rung and then onto my frame. Okay, so I'm going to tie that from the back. Okay, so you work exactly the same from the back. You're going to put 2 tacks in. Okay, and another way that you can finish, just again personal preference, but I'll show you this one. You go around this way, around that way, and just do a figure of 8. Okay, same thing. Okay, okay, and now I'm going to show you from the front just how I like to finish off. Okay, so I use this, I take this piece, okay, and I go back onto my second rung, okay, and I start wrapping around, noosing around like that. Then when I get to the bottom, I'm just going to put a tack straight through the middle of my cord, and it just keeps everything nice and neat. Gives me a really firm platform there at the front. Okay, so you don't have to noose it round. Some people will just loop that round and finish it. Okay, but you can see that's just the way I like to do it there. Alright, so you might want to adjust some of these knots now. Just slightly, just give yourself a bit straighter line to work with. You should see I've got the first one in there. I'll just finish up the back exactly how I have at the front. I'll get these north to south or front to backs done, and then I'll show you the second part of our lashing pattern. Okay guys, so you should be able to see now that I've got my 3 up downs or north to souths. I've noosed around the excess at the front, it's given me a nice platform. Move the tacks hit home. Okay, and at the back, it's just exactly the same process. Okay, so remember you can use the figure of 8 method. If you get used to that, that really does need improved tacks there. But then I'm going back to my little loops. I've also done something a bit different on this back here just to get around this rail. I left myself a little bit more excess and went to one side of the rail, noosed up, and then went back and noosed back down on this side and put another couple of tacks in there, and that just pulled my spring nice and straight. And then I finished with another noose there. Okay, so we've done our north to souths. Now I'm just going to show you the second part of our two-way lashing pattern, our east to wests or our side to sides. Okay, so starts off exactly the same. Okay, so we're going to measure our laid cord. So we go 1 pass across, 2 pass back, and half across. We start exactly the same, so I'm going to start on this little piece of frame here. I'll have to do something to get around this arm, but I'm just going to show you what we do when we get to our existing twine on this one. Okay, so got my twine ready. I'm going to show you this again. Hopefully you'll get another view. Okay, 2 tacks. Take our twine, pull it back on itself. Okay, so make the loops. Okay, our loops go around our tacks, adjust them so we're pulling them tight. You can see me hopefully pulling on those tacks there. Okay, keep the tension, keep it nice and tight together. Hit home. Those 2 tacks. Okay, so you've got a short end now and a long end. Okay, we're going to start on the second rung down. We'll use the top rung 3 for our rail that we're going to add later. Okay, that's a separate video. Okay, start on our second rung, go across exactly the same way. Alright, the only thing that's different this time is we've got some existing twine. I'll try and stay out of the way of this as much as possible. Same thing, pinch, long end. This is why it's good to not work too much twine. Make sure you're getting that 2.5 passes bang on. Don't leave yourself too much excess to work with. Okay, and we've just got this under nice tension. I'm not pulling the spring too far this way, okay, towards the frame. I'm just leaving it nice and under tension there. Okay, so the only thing different this time is we've got this twine that we're working with. I just do exactly the same, guys. Go over this twine, or cord, sorry, exactly the same way I would a rung of our spring. Okay, keep it pinched under tension. Okay, I keep it pinched around until I'm ready, until my knot is ready, and I can move it off. Okay, make the knot. Okay, and then my next knot is on the tops of this spring. We'll just do this one. So now I've moved on to the top rung. This isn't going to get in the way of the rail that we'll add later. Okay, and I'll just carry on like so. Okay, so hopefully should be able to see that now. So the only difference there is that I've knotted onto our existing twine. Okay, so we're going to put another 2 rows of laid cord in here. Okay, and now we've got a 2-way, okay, north to south, east to west lashing pattern. Alright, just really simple. So I'll go ahead and finish this up, and then I'll show you the end result. Okay guys, just before I show you the end result, I just wanted to show you a couple of ways of finishing off. I realised the angle that I had before might have been a little bit far away, so I'm just going to try and make it a little bit more clear of what I'm doing here. So I've got my 2 tacks, hopefully you can just about see those. Okay, and the first way that we know how to do it, we're going to make our fold just past our tacks this time. Okay, and then we can fold it back on itself, alright, and know that we're just about where we want to be already. Okay, so that's just how we started off on our very first piece. Okay, we had our 2 loops like that. Okay, and now the next way is we go around this piece, around this tack, sorry, on the outside, go in the inside, and then we do a figure of 8 and come back here, like that. Okay, so I'll do that again. Figure of 8 around this tack. Okay, you can start on this side, around this tack, whichever side is good. And go around in a figure of 8 and hit them home. Okay, first one again. Make our fold this time, because we're finishing here and we're not starting off, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult getting our loops just past our tacks. Okay, so our fold is just past our tacks now. Okay, and then we fold it back on ourselves and we know that we're going to be able to loop that over our tacks and we're not too far off. Cinch that up, get some good tension in here, fiddle around how you need to, pull your loose end. Okay, and then hit home. Okay guys, so we've got our really simple basic lashing pattern finished up now. So we've got our 2 ways, north to south, up downs, okay, and our east to wests, or sides to sides. Okay, remember the only difference with the side to sides is that we've knotted on top of our twine that's already existing. Okay, so we've got knots at each cross section of twine. Alright, remember when we were starting off, hopefully it should have made it a little bit clearer with what I've just shown you there. But remember that we were noosing round. That's just the way I like to do it. That I've kind of built into my into the way I do things. Everyone will have a different way of doing it, and it's all about just practicing as much as you can on stuff like this. So whether it's on a template or on a little project or just on a board, anything that you can web and start from sort of tying the springs right up to the lashing. It's just practice, 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 and it'll take a lot of goes to get faster and neater and quicker. Just a couple of things that I've already spoke about, this back rail and having it go either side. I'm just constantly working on the principle of keeping the springs straight. Okay, so I'm not worrying about too much about where I can get my my cord. Obviously I want to try and get them in the middle. I want to start on the second rung, that's important. But you can see here that I've had to go a little bit behind the middle just because of these arms that are in the way here, okay, or wings or whatever you want to call them. I'm still working on the principle of keeping this particular spring straight though, okay, and as long as I've got that in a straight line this way and a straight line this way, I'm happy. So I can see there that even though I've had to go a little bit diagonally away, I'm still getting good tension this way, and this spring is straight. Okay, so yeah, working on the principles of keeping the spring straight, of keeping good tension, not too much, so that you're pulling it over your edge, over your frame, and just finding different ways of what works for you is the beauty and the fun of traditional upholstery, and some of the things that I enjoy most. I hope I can share most of those little tips and tricks that I've found with you guys. If you have got any questions, whether you're watching on YouTube, you can drop them in the comments, and I'll try my best to get back to you as quick as possible. If you're watching this on Instagram, direct message is fine. Anything that I've spoke about in either of the 2 parts of the springing tutorial, please don't hesitate, get in touch, ask me anything you like. Hopefully the tips that I've been posting are helping you get to grips with the tools. And yeah, it's just all about practice, guys. I can't stress that enough. You'll get quicker, you'll get better. But if you've got any questions, let me know in the places I've mentioned. And yeah, hope this helps. Hope you can have a bash. If you do, you are trying stuff at home, please let me see what you're doing. You finished pieces, or your little practice pieces, your lashing patterns. Again, this is a two-way lashing pattern, and I hope you've enjoyed watching. I'll see you next time for another traditional upholstery tutorial. Cheers, guys.